Hello again, YouTube. This is the Truth Man. The channel is the No Matrix, No Simp, and All Subjects channel. So, I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know if y'all not getting the notifications or y'all just ignoring the lives or something with YouTube, because they are notorious. But apparently y'all like the car videos. The car videos is what got me to where I am on YouTube. I am gonna switch up somewhat, but nonetheless, I do thank y'all for watching. I do thank y'all for coming. Cosmetic check. But we still got a whole bunch to talk about, man. Like, we got a whole bunch to talk about. I can't go as deep as I would want to go on YouTube, but I go deep enough, to get my points across. So I be talking to one of my friends. I used to work with him, and I'm trying to tell him he needs to have a channel, man, because he's Latino. They the majority, and I know that his perspective will help a lot of people, because what I notice is a lot of these guys, they not as insightful as he is, and I would say this, like, two of my favorite type of people, like in terms of race, like not including the usual blacks and whites, but in a lot of cases, I like them better. I do. I like how they were raised. I like their family values. Even when I was working in the jails, I rarely ever had to put hands on a Latino and restrain them. Only a couple times when they fight, but a lot of time they have so much respect for their elders that you really don't have to correct them that much, at least not where I was at. Now, I don't know, hopefully it'll be this way in Arizona too, but his perspective, man, is very essential, because I noticed, like, when I was on Just Pearly Things, I was kind of disappointed at how many, like, Latinos were in there. Like, that was kind of disappointing, man. Like, we not against y'all, and y'all not against us, and y'all need to learn the history about the Seminole Indian and how really Texas was y'all's. Texas was y'all's. What happened was, in those lower southern states, and I'm kind of off subject, but y'all can make it back. They were basically using the Maroons, which were some of my ancestors that ended up in South Carolina, Gullah Island, so on and so forth, after it was said and done. But they were using them, and the Maroons had their own, like, they had some type of deal with them, and they had some of their own slaves. But when they saw what exactly was the motive and the agenda, they start rebelling, because they were coming after them, because they saw how strong they were. So they like, no, it ain't happening. So at the same time, around the same time, the ancestors of the Mexicans and the Latinos, or, well, pretty much the same thing, but y'all get what I'm saying. That's just how I'm saying it. They were at war with them too, because they were trying to enslave them, and they were making bogus deals with them, like in terms of, well, if you teach us the land, you teach us this, that, we'll give you this, and instead they were giving them, I ain't gonna say the word, we'll just say plagues. So their leaders formed, they kind of merged, like kind of made a bond, and a pack. And so they start breeding their tribes. And their tribes formed a mighty warrior that we know. What's going on? I ain't never seen the light do this. Man, this light must ain't working. I ain't finna stay. As the Seminole Indian. Now that's where the Trail of Tears and all of that came in. See, they don't tell you the whole story about the Trail of Tears. But they had to divide us because we were too strong when they breeded. So they sent a lot of the Maroons and a lot of our other ancestors that were in on this back into slavery, and they sent their tribes onto reservations, to brainwash and stuff like that. That's where, just study up on the Trail of Tears. They divided us. See, people think the original Indians were some from a whole another country, but the original Indians were the ancestors of Mexicans and the ancestors of blacks. I'm just saying. Now, I know they don't want y'all to learn this knowledge. They want y'all to get everything that you know from certain people. But this is the facts, and you can look it up for yourself. You can look it up for yourself. Like, it's true. Like, Texas, originally the tribes of the Mexicans / Latinos were in Texas, they were in Louisiana, they were in all through that South. I'm telling you. And our ancestors too. And were they at each other's throats? Were they seeing each other as competition? No. I mean, they had little skirmishes, but they were able to work their way through the majority of them. So, quite clever to keep us divided. That was a clever strategy because they don't want them Seminoles to come back. They don't want that. And to this day, like, it's little things that be happening, man, that I be looking at it like you can't know the history. You can't know the history of all those tribes. Aztecs? Cherokee? Come on now. But back on subject. I was talking about a friend of mine that I think he'll be perfect. He's bilingual too. He'll be perfect on YouTube. He'll blow up. And he'll be coming at these fake dudes too. So yeah, I can't wait. I just really want him to make a channel. I'm talking to him right now. After I get off of here, I'm gonna go back and finish talking to him. But I want to talk about some things we were talking about. We're gonna have to come back to it. How insatiable the majority of these women are. How a lot of them, they want a traditional husband, but they don't want to be traditional wives. That's what we're going to talk about. I kind of got carried away on this one, but we're going to come back and we're going to talk about that because it's very important. And he was saying something that's very, very, very important that I'm going to touch on. How guys that are raised by women. See, his father was a strong man. His father raised them very well. But he was talking about how guys become simps when they are when they're raised by women. I only know like a couple of those that ain't simps. And I don't know if they ain't got no simp in them, but I know a guy in particular that was raised by mainly his mother and his grandmother. He turned out good, but it don't happen too often. But you gotta realize with him, he was always around men. And I'm gonna talk about him probably a little bit on the next one too, so stay tuned. I'll be right back. This is The Truth Man.